Hello, I'm back. I waited a little bit longer than normal, on account of I had some stuff I had to do yesterday. So give me 1 second to shut my door, because apparently I forgot to do that, and we'll get started. There we go. Now, when last we left off, we'd just discovered that there was a talisman that worked to ward off the towers, and Nidhana went with us to test it out. There's the lovely tower, Tower of Zot, as they've been calling it. She got caught by Fandaniel, so we got asked to go speak with Varshan here, to go to Radzat-Han, because the Satrap wants to speak to us. Hello, my bros. You ready? Let's begin. All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Favnir, and to its stony surface clings the city of Radzat-Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are, Megadota. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, Satrap of Radzat-Han. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale.
His hair is cool. I like it.
Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
But Nidhana, she was taken. Not everything went to plan.
A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidhana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers. Of Midgardsormr's spawn, I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat-Han had an alliance with the dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the Satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radzat-Han.
That's really cool lore.
But if Vritra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who joined me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
'Tis here, buried within a semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razathan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Razathan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me.
You gonna get me to do it?
Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Cartanau, I am told.
You right, I did that.
'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear.
Does Dim want to be the tip of a spear?
Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions.
Oh, excellent. You know, Dim did start out as
And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
Ooh, yes please.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go, steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Oh. Oh, he's already gone.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Razathan, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Excellent. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn. But we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan, and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetherite here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Well, I've already done that. I was sure to do that right away. Alright, back to the Northern Empty and Old Sharlayan we go. Well, looks like we have a different adventure on our hands than I was anticipating today. See, like I said, I've done this before, but I forget things very quickly, and I've already forgotten the way this quest goes. Case in point, I didn't realize this is what would happen. But it is exciting. Let's get some XP on this class. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thavnir, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Excellent. There we go. We are done with Thavnir. Well, let's go ahead and finish up Sharlayan, shall we? So I believe originally we were... Oh, I don't have that unlocked. We were supposed to help people? Yes, hitting the books. As a means to gain insight into the Forum and their confounding obstinacy, Krile has been scouring Sharlayan's archives for any mention of the final days. Progress has been slow, however, and she enlists you and your fellow Scions to help with her research. For your first task, you are to meet Krile at the nearby entrance to Numenor, the Grand Library of Sharlayan. We are going to... so we're helping people research. We're gonna grab this Aether shard, and then we'll go talk to people. You've attuned yourself to all the Aetherite shards. Excellent. Yeet! Don't mind the Reaper just yeeting around. Sorry, the background music was just a little bit loud for me, I think. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenor, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenor extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenor's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study relevant publications. I promise you a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading. Ooh, it's reading night. Let's get started. That is still loud for me. And I forgot I could just turn it down on my headphones. Turn it back up. Time-worn tome. The faded title on the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. Read the book? Yes. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Nyan-Kref, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from the strength of minds rather than the strength of arms. With knowledge in economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. It's beautiful. The title on spine reads, Forever 20 Summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I, too, once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, or 23, or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, you will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethereological, and arcane viewpoint. The book is on the wrong subject. Search for works which contain details on the forum or mention of history of Sharlayan. It's a good point, though. It's very important that you take care of your health. An introduction to the heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? Speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Aleg who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Book is on the wrong subject. Well, we're getting some very interesting lore. The voice of a growing city. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the Sixth Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum as we know it today conceived and created. That's really interesting. So they literally just Granville. I'm rather in the middle of something, so if you wouldn't mind leaving me to my research, thank you. Reminds me of Granblue. Anyways, so they'd literally just have all their citizens talk, and then they got to be too many of them. And so they stopped. I want to read all these books. I'm worried that if I finish too early, it's going to read them all. Oh, I don't know which one. Hopefully I can read both of them. Roads of Old, the Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. It's 1311. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idylshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idylshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or convey the history of Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. Cool, but there's some info on Idylshire. I chose right! The story of Sharlayan. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rhodogan man by the name of Nunkref. Nunkref was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nunkref's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nunkref wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Avalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them. But it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nunkref gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and await your companions. Huh. So it's snow on the ark. I love it. Oh, the lore is so cool in this game. I love what they come up with. How they take inspiration from the different mythologies and around the world, like different designs, just cultural inspiration. It's so cool. I love seeing Radzat Han and all their designs there. It's just gorgeous. Sorry, were you waiting long? There they are! It's the boy! Wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Krile should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it is not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. Seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Oh, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern regions of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. The Algans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Makote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquake of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos still under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amoneus. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. As Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alleg. As the last child born with the Allagan I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louisoix, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. This is exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the foreign's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Dhim'a. More company should be arriving any moment now. Oh, poor Gra. So sad. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Ah, more of them. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Krile has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Yes, I can definitely relate that horror to you. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomenon did the ancients encounter as the final days grew nigh? Complete destabilization of creation magics. Primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the aether. Worst kind of a phenomenon you can imagine! Well, that certainly is an accurate, if somewhat ambiguous, impression. To expound upon that explanation, the unfolding catastrophe will wreak havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested into terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. Only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, these techniques were not preserved or passed on. Y'shtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Scions. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Alphino, you can answer this one. Say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. A horrible sound. Ah yes, the Emeraldines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it all resounded all across the star, and not even Amarot was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Numenon's Mamets, and ask for any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiark. They summoned Hydaelyn. They knocked Dalamud from the sky. No, they did not. They summoned Zodiark. Yes, Solidibus serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that it was his godlike will, that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew. It was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? This is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return to our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for your Stola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Wait at the designated location again. Look, it's slowly filling up with people. So now we just need the other cat. And we're waiting, and I'm gonna drink some water. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Garum oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuno with the knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. No! I don't want to read! Don't make me read! Don't make me study! I'm gonna become learned. He gonna learn today. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. You labor for what feels like an age as you stole his research assistant. That sounds like a punishing job. Oh, let's eat another boiled egg. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, the Mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Yeah, experience points. Hey, Alize. Ready for a tea break, Dhim'a? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down at the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Coffee! I can go to the... Yes. Oh, Dim's gonna get coffee! Just what everyone needs, a cat high on caffeine. Bouncing off the walls like he's on catnip. Here we go. Beautiful. I absolutely love this zone. It's so peaceful. Can we have apartments here? Please? 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 Yoshi, Yoshi, please. Please, can I have an apartment here? Okay, that's all. Take your time. No rush. And if no, that's fine. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophoroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alize is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Alize behind. I already know how to do that. I don't need to read it all again. I read it last time. Hello, Piron Dairy. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. Now, this vagabond definitely looks like he's looking to share a table. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised to end all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levieur girl, aren't you? This man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. I must apologize. It was foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Dhim'a. Up. Alize, I am not your dog to order around. Someone here at the cafe should be willing to speak to us. Let's ask around. Okay. Do you have any zones I can talk to? Hildoise. Yes? I don't believe I've had the pleasure... Excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. Alize, you have to approach it from the point of view as if you are just making conversation. If you insert an agenda into the conversation, you're automatically going to put them into a mindset of responding and also give away your identity. You have to, ask them about a conversation. You have to actually ask their opinion on these things. Understand what they're saying, not, hey, this is horrible. You agree, right? Sorry, got the hiccups. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuneau that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Ah, hello, Dickon. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? A latte. Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the last stand. Dickon? I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated. And I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, our patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server, with none the wiser. Oh no. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Dim the waiter. At your service. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting on an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Okay, tea to the group. Lobster to the Makote. I don't remember what Gisla ordered. This looks like a chatty group. Yes, I am waiter. Waiter cat. Hello. I work here. Your tea. Oh, my tea set. Lovely. Thank you. Tilaffer... who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to the current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Cute. Oh, look at this, a group of friends out for tea. I love it. Alright, Gisla ordered the omelet. Hello, Miss Gisla, the regular who ordered an omelet. Ah, finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Tilaffer? Ah, yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? But stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Ah, cat. Cat who ordered. Urbane banter with a smile. The oven-baked lobster. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine! You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Oh no, you could make it so he can't eat it. That's horrible! The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Tilaffer make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing around in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor. You'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Thank you for your wisdom. I'm going to walk away nonchalantly, because I'm just a server. Definitely a server! Alize, any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get any wataki? Interesting. You seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon has nothing to offer. He's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Yes! But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. dressed up for his coffee friend date. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Hanging out with a friend on the edge of the water, drinking coffee. That's the dream. I'd love to do that.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently.
That's awful when you know that you're justified in an argument, but the words just don't come to your head, so you end up looking like you're wrong. That's one of the worst feelings.
It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
It's not your fault. That's the same dude. That's the same dude again!
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Is there just a Nurse Joy level of people who drive boats here?
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples.
Yes, the samples and stuff. Varied by, I'm going to call them triplets.
Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility.
That's cool.
Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
Yes.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
I think we must investigate. Retriever. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. No, she's returning the cups. It's sweet. Precious. I just love how Alize and Alphino become like your little siblings, basically. It's really sweet. I wonder, does the camera angle change when you're a Lalafell? That would be interesting. Hey, Krile! 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 Welcome back, Dhim'a. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. You see, they're like bringing a lot of stuff in to store, which is real suspicious because they don't normally do that. Kind of like they're stockpiling goods for the end of the world. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from the institutions and bureaucrats. But as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Dhim'a and Alizé learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues were not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telafroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activity are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. We're lucky the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. What should we expect down there? Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. I understand not everyone is the studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Oh, Raha! Come on an adventure with us! Let's head down the stairs over there. I'll show you where the entrance is. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. Take the lead. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alizé and try not to fall behind. Alizé sets off at a brisk walk. Off we go then. Go. Target is preoccupied, unable to interact. I can't right-click follow. My walk is too fast. It's pleasant here amongst the trees, but we really should move along. Alizé! Why are you walking so slow? I can't keep pace with you properly. Now we run. Try to keep up. Look at her little legs go. Keep to the path, straight ahead. We cross this bridge. Up here. Nyom. She's zooming. The rostra. Not far now. Just sprints off. Oh, here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. I did. I have all of them. Beautiful. Chocobo keep. Yep, okay, so they just say the same thing as all the other chocobo borders. Ridge tilt. Hey, Krile. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go. I completely forgot about this, too.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky.
That's so cool.
In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
This is so cool. Pardon me.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
I love their hats. I love their outfits.
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Krile, that's a bit sus. This is so cool. It's also kind of hilarious that we came down here at night, they're like talking about the artificial sun, and it's just off. But look at the night sky, and it's an artificial night sky, they said. The sky, the stars are moving. The sky even moves. This is so cool. Okay. Alright. Let's check in with people. Dobbin. I love that top. I would love to have that top on Dim. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Your exchange with Dobbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Oh, a mender. Let me think. The Rhea Siege should be item 1058, Cumin Seeds 1059, Snurbbleberry 160, or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with Moko grass. Why more loads to take in than why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corinthian carrots for the Garabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Teve has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. And no robot. Oh, where the wild things are. Hello, friend. It's not. Just ignore the wild monster in the background and continue talking like everything is normal. You here to help or give me more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted, he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. I have a pack of marmots running loose. Uh-oh. Your exchange with Arenville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Oh, poor guy. He's just tired. He wants a break. Okay, that thing is disturbing. I'm scared of it. We're going back to Krile. Krile, save me. There's a scary monster. Any luck, Dhim'a? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? Notes concerning massive inventory operations currently underway, large quantities of cargo making its way in and out, and exhausted workers. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. Were we right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who tasked them to do it. If you're game, Dhim'a, I have an idea. What are you doing? Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Then why are you kneeling to talk to her? You gremlin. Beep. Arenville. Hello. Can I help you? I will catch the marmots. You wish to help me find the marmots? I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. I got you, friend. I'm your man. The name's Arenville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nangshan marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Dim, please don't stick your hand through people's bodies. It's impolite. Where to begin, you wonder? Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot, or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Thank you, friend. Alright. Oh. Right. There it is! You can't tell me it's not where the wild things are. Alright, let's find us some grizzled rats. Dim, you're familiar with rats, being one yourself. Oh, there's one. A grizzled mouse. Oh, no. No, don't you dare. I'm gonna protect him. Chirp, squeak. Hey, no, come back. Rarely have you readied the sack that the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. Arrgh. Come back here. No! I don't like it, I don't like it. Stay away from me. Too scary. 3 scary, 5 me. Hello, grizzled mouse. No hunting troll. Stay away from my grizzled mouse. Squeak! Rat sack. Dang it. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. What does the rat sack say? Sturdy sack supposedly large enough to hold 1 or more squirming marmots. I'm gonna have to get close to the troll, aren't I? I can't sneak my way up here. Ah, I can! Haha! I'm climbing. Oh. Ah! I was so proud of myself. I will climb. That is how cats do. Cats climb. It would be faster to go around. Why am I like this? Nothing to see here. Just a man after a current. Nothing to see here. Please carry on. Hey, rat. Come here, mouse. Come here, mouse. Squeak, squeak. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Aw, yeah. I caught a mouse. I'm the best cat. I can hunt mice. Oh yeah, I forgot about the fact that I can get experience from exploring the zones. I'm dumb, guys. I'm doing my best, but it's not very good. Hi, kitty. Kitty's back. Hey, friend. Brought you a rat. Would you like one? Mouse just for you. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. This sack holds the plump, wriggling form of 1 greatly annoyed grizzled mouse. There you go, just for you. Present. As all cats should bring. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Oh! Cutscene. What who? Conversation? The shoes aren't bad either. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? What will you do with the marmots now? That's for the Forum to decide. They are the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the 2 concessions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I didn't know what the Forum had planned for these creatures, but at the very least I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Dhim'a. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Krile of the Students of Baldessian, and these others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing these decisions put into action, we might fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? I want that top. Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more of your services. Wait, what? That statement made no sense. I read that wrong. Did you learn anything new from your friend Lair? So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophori made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. We were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophori's declaration was what set it all in motion? Seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Oh. Krile, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the past Eth, through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse. Or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Yes, watch out for those dangerous trolls. They'll get you. They'll prank you every time. No, trolls. Okay. And now we are going to swap so that I can actually gain the experience for driving. Beautiful, beautiful. It's even pretty in the rain. Glorified rat catcher. Oh my gosh, that's a great one. Behold, the Archeon. As Numenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does the structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an accent point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. That is really cool. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here in the rain. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with this custodian. Yeah, I'm gonna get ourselves sick standing out here. Look at him, he's all wet. And grab that aether crystal. I should get the chocobo too. Tune to the aetherite. That's the gemstone trader. Market for something on the rare side. Got a whole village worth of surplus from the Archeon, some of which can even be yours for some bicolored gemstones. Oh, neat. Anything else? Nope. Okay. I wonder if I unlock more if I do more fates and stuff. There's the chocobo keep. Very important. Well met, traveler. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Pardon me, I did not mean to cough. Alright, let's get him out of the rain. And then give me a few minutes. I'm gonna take a quick break, get a drink, and get a blanket because I'm cold. And you guys can watch the cat do a dance in the meantime. I will return shortly. I'm back. I return with the ability to be less cold. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. It was a good thing, because now maybe I can actually focus on reading a bit more. I don't know. I have this thing where when I'm cold, I really just can't focus on anything aside from being cold, and it's terrible. Alright. Now, let's continue. Greetings. We are here to peruse the Archeon's vaults. Peruse? You are clearly not gleaners, then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I am afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What, so this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time it will be too late. We were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment, shall we? Yes, let's discuss this in full view and earshot of someone who is actively trying to prevent students of Baldessian. See? And this is why you don't discuss your plans in front of the people you're trying to hide them from. Everybody knows this. Basic logic. Think. Think! We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. 'Tis likely that the people in this area are involved in this restructuring in one way or another. We are to integrate ourselves. They might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. I apologize for bonking the microphone. I am sure that was not pleasant. If it's any consolation, my finger hurts. Bone-weary worker. Okay, how about the coat that's coming out with the new Halloween event? I cannot wait. What's up? Oh, no, what's up? What's that? Take you down on the lift with me. Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever he's doing. Chatbert! A Porogo. Okay, let's see. Wait. I can go over here? Can I fall off the edge here? I cannot fall off the edge here. But I can walk along this. Oh no, Square, why you do this to me? Why? 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 Well, that's a very cinematic shot. Hi, Dim. Okay, let's get back on track. Distractions aside. I am way too easily distracted. I should put the ADHD marker on my freaking streams, I swear. I don't normally bring it up because I'm not. It's a new thing for me. New diagnosis and everything, and I don't know. I'm rambling. Let's talk to the Bamooz student. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeon, even though we've found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Squeal, squeal! Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeon is open again. What is it? Ah! It's a Dhim'a Louis. What is in the box? What is in the box, you say? Truly, it is a mystery. One for the ages. What is in the box? It's me! There's I in the box. The cat. What else is in the box? At first we thought it might have escaped from one of the research laboratories, but when we reported our find to the studium, they were just as dumbfounded as we were. If it is truly a newly discovered species, we could have our names appear in the Gazette. Squeal, squeal, squeal! What the heck is it? I want what's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? I want to know. I want to know what's in the box. Yeah, sorry about that. I adjusted how I was sitting and apparently nearly knocked myself off my thing. Oh, look, it's Erenville. There we go. I had to unlock this first so I don't have to worry about... There we go. Hey, Erenville. How you doing? How you doing, friend? Quiet. You'll frighten it away. What are you after? Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The Cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. I can help you. I'm a good hunter. You wish to help me with this too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cries a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with the sleeping dart. Oh. Dim, stop sticking your hand inside people's stomachs. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Can I shoot you? Oh no, I don't want to shoot Erenville, but I am so tempted. Oh, caw-caw. Caw-caw. Large green-beaked bird, small green-beaked bird, large green bird. I'm assuming it's that, but I want to see if there's anything fun to see. Quack, quack! Nothing? No goodies? No goodies? Okay. I like looking for secrets. Look at it sleeping. Oh, yes, you give us your Wuggleston. Well done.
A fair shot.
Oh, he speaks. He's speaking.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
Thank you, friend. Take your time. He's such a good boy. He's a good little gremlin sometimes. He's doing his part. Helping.
There you are. Any new revelations?
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation.
I love the Vera accents.
But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations.
That's cool.
Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down.
Yes, please.
This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, It should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome. But consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Thank you for the warning, Aaronville. You were very sweet. You're just a businessman.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Oh yeah! To the mine shaft! On we go. Oh, look at everyone. Their chocobos out. Nope, I don't want a labyrinth screamer coming after me. That sounds terrifying. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Oh, guess it's back to Sage. Gotta get all that tasty experience, you know? Whoa. I don't like those. Do not like it at all. Explored this zone, so swapping back. Oh, it's a cricket toad. I mean, cricket mushroom. This isn't so much climbing as it is walking. Oh, they're gonna make me fight it. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Weird. Very funny music. They're making me fight things. They're like, no, you shall not get out of our cave without fighting some of these cricket shrooms. Discovery zone here in a sec, so everyone seems to have made it through without incident, nothing of consequence at least, and as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. Barenvel's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Excellent. On we go. Slimes. Why would you be collecting slimes, I wonder? That does beg the question. What do slimes... That's not a slime, that's a bush. That is a living bush. But what do slimes contribute to the ecosystem? Like, are they kind of like slugs and stuff? Cute. Aha! I know where we are. This is Mariel Agronomics. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable success might make it to the Agora. Foods so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. See no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It is possible they know something of the Foreign's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. And I'm going to run across the way and just unlock that zone. Just grab this real quick so you can see, so that I have it on the map and I don't have to worry about experience stuff. There are literal vegetables running around. Harried harvester. Ooh, that is a tree. Ah! Sorry, camera. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Ilsevard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for a myriad of flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. Used to be called Corvos before the Imperials named it Locus Amonis. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Well, I want to go to Corvos now. It sounds really cool. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry, and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport, hence a stack of crates atop that hill over there. Gods, hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Interesting. Ah! I thought I was gonna fall. They won't let me fall. I'm gonna let you go. Hold you up. Jeb key. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors, not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyways? Don't tell him. The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields. But I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation, and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. No, I should expect not. Alright, back out we go. Investigate the stacked boxes. There they are. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Oh, the voice?
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
You sound like Ardbert for a minute. Heart blooms.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark, subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
That's really cool. I like that flower. I love the impromptu lore lesson too.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating, but as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
I wonder if Erenville is the name that he chose for himself. Because I know in lore, Viera, like, name themselves after things and stuff that they like. So, what if there was a city or a town called Erenville and he liked it and he took the name as his name?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Risks.
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
It's true.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
That is a risky way of acting and thinking.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Krile?
Krile?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this in and call it for the night, because it is getting late for me and I do need to get some sleep. Is Krile feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our course slip away. Alright. And that is going to call it for the night. Thank you all for joining me. I had a blast. I hope you did as well. May you rest well and have a wonderful day. And I will see you back here next time. See you soon.